Hello everyone, I'm Tom, and this is Come Sit at My Table. Today, we are starting a new series called A Taste for Blueberries. Starting today and running through next Sunday, we're going to do a video every day highlighting one of our very favorite summer fruits. Blueberries, of course. Now, blueberries are very plentiful in our grocery stores right now because we're in full swing of blueberry season. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to show you some of our favorite blueberry dishes. We hope you'll be back every day this week to join in with our series. Today, we're going to make blueberry cream dessert. It's delicious. We hope you'll stick around today and come back every day this week. Let's get started. For our blueberry cream dessert, we are going to need 1 pack of graham crackers. Now, these are the full packs. These are not the snack packs. There are about 9 graham crackers in a pack. I have already ground up 7 of those. I've got 2 left that I'm going to grind up in just a minute. But we need a total of 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs for our crust. We're also going to use 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and that is divided. We're going to use 1/4 of a cup in our crust, and we're going to use 1/2 a cup in the filling that goes in our blueberry cream dessert. So you'll need those divided, 1/4 of a cup and 1/2 a cup. We're also going to use 1 stick, which is 1/2 cup of butter melted, and I have already melted that butter, so we're ready to go. Those 3 ingredients will make our crust. Now for the cream filling in the middle, we are going to use, and there's our oven. It is preheated to 350 degrees. For the cream filling in the middle, we're going to use that other 1/2 cup of sugar with 1 block, 8-ounce block of cream cheese that has been softened to room temperature. We're going to use 2 whole eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, we will mix those 4 things together and pour on top of our crust and bake it. Then we will dust the top of that with 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon after it comes out of the oven. While it's still hot, we're going to dust the top of it with the cinnamon. We'll let it cool completely, and then we're going to top that with 1 can, a 21-ounce can of blueberry pie filling. Let me stop and tell you that I like lots of filling in mine. I used to make it with 1 can, just like the recipe said that I got out of a magazine 21, 22 years ago. But somewhere along the way, I decided that I just didn't think there was enough blueberries in this dessert. So now I use a 2nd can, and I don't use all of it. I just use part of it. But I do use 1 whole can and part of another. You do not have to do that. 1 can, 1 21-ounce can will do it, but it will be thin. And some of you are probably saying, well, what do you do with the rest of the blueberry pie filling that you don't use? Well, we like it on top of slices of pound cake. We like it on vanilla ice cream. We have lots of ways we can use up leftover blueberry pie filling. So 1 can is enough if that's what you want to do, but just know that I use a little more than 1 can. And then we're going to need 16 ounces of Cool Whip. Depending on your pan and how deep it is, you may or may not be able to get all of this on your dessert, but an 8-ounce just is not enough in my opinion. So I always get a 16-ounce and use as much of it as I can get on there.
Depending on how many blueberries you've topped on there.
Well, that could be the problem now that you've mentioned. 16 ounces used to fit on there, okay, but I like the blueberries. It's a blueberry cream dessert. So, first thing we have to do is crunch up our graham crackers. Now, by the way, you can buy a box of graham cracker crumbs that are already crunched up. You don't have to do this. You can buy them already ready to mix together. But I didn't do that today. So I'm just going to take these other 2, and you can see right here I have already blended up some, but I don't have quite a 1.5 cups. So I'm just going to put these other 2 in there and let those crunch up. And I do want them fairly fine. I don't want them in big chunks. Okay, I think that's good. So let's take out our blade. Take this off. And let's just make sure that we have a cup and a half. If not, we may have to do another one. Oh, that's exactly 1.5 cups. Okay. So we are going to put those in our bowl with 1/4 cup of sugar. We're saving that other half cup, remember, for the filling in the middle. I'm going to get a fork here, and I'm going to take my melted butter. I'm just going to kind of mix those crumbs and sugar together first. Mix that up a little bit. Make a well in the center and pour my butter in. Let me just grab my spatula here because I want every drop of that butter out of there. Number one, it offers flavor. Butter is flavor. But also we want it because it's what's going to bind those graham cracker crumbs together to make the crust. So we need to make sure we have enough. And I'm just going to take my fork and stir all of that together. And you just want to do that until it is wet. Everything's got some butter on it. You don't want any dry crumbs because then that's not going to make a crust. So I found a fork does really well for this. You can use a spoon if you want, but I've always found that a fork does really well when you're mixing graham cracker crumbs or any kind of crumbs really with butter. And you can kind of take those tines and press it all together and then just kind of fluff it up with your fork. Okay, that looks really good. So we're going to take our 9x13 pan, and I have sprayed it with nonstick spray. I'm just going to put our graham cracker crumbs right in there. I want to make sure every bit of those are out of there. We're going to need them all. Just if you're going to use your fingers, make sure you have washed your hands well. I know everybody knows that, but just in case there's someone young and not experienced watching. So I just want to spread those out fairly evenly. Now, if you want to do this with a cup, you can. I used to use the flat bottom of a cup to press my graham cracker crumbs, and then I figured out, when I did that, I had a cup to wash. So I just used my hand. I had a hand long before I knew how to use a cup, so. All right. Now, when you bake this with your cream filling on top, that's also going to help it stick together really well. So you don't have to be so particular about making it perfectly stuck together. Okay. Now, we're just going to set that aside while we make our filling. We're going to take our cream cheese and our half cup of sugar. We're going over to our mixer. Need to pull that out a little bit. And we're going to put those in. And I just like to go ahead and start those. You don't have to necessarily start those ahead of time, but I just like to start them and let those two kind of blend together a little bit. And that squeaking is because those rubber gaskets on the side of the mixer are hitting the side of the bowl, but as soon as that cream cheese, see, it's already stopped. As soon as that cream cheese coats the side of the bowl, it won't do that anymore. All right. We only have 2 more things to add. You can see that those have already creamed up pretty well, so I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And my 2 eggs. And I'm going to do those one at a time. We've talked about this before. I never break them directly into the bowl because you could have a bad egg, or you could get a piece of shell in there, and you don't want to do that. So I just break them into a measuring cup or a little bowl just to make sure before I add it that everything's okay. In it goes. Now we just need to let that mix for a minute until those eggs, cream cheese, and sugar are blended well. And I'm just going to turn it up a little bit so that it blends really nicely. And I think that looks good. And I think oh, wait just a minute. Nope, hang on. We need to scrape this beater. We've got some cream cheese and sugar right there that did not blend. We want that blended in. You don't want big chunks of that. Let me get all that off there. If I can see over here, I'm trying to see around it. Okay, let's give it just another second or two. Okay, that should be it. All right, let's scrape that off. As much of that off there as we can get off, because we want every drop of that in our dessert. Now, that just gets poured right on top of our dessert, or on top of our crust. And it is a thin layer. It is not a big, thick layer. It will puff up a little as it bakes, but it's going to be fairly thin. It's not like it's going to fill the pan or anything. We will have to spread it out just a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. Actually, you know, if you want to spread it, you can. But I have found it's just as easy to kind of tip it up, let it run to the sides and corners. You need a little bit down here in this corner, and that's it. Okay, now we're going to go into our 350-degree preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. You'll be able to tell when it's done. It'll have just a little color on top of it. So in we go, only for about 15 to 20 minutes. Our blueberry cream dessert has been in the oven for 20 minutes. We're going to turn the oven off and take it out. And we need to immediately dust it with our cinnamon. Now, I want you to look at this, how there's a little bit of color around the edge. It's not completely brown, the whole thing's not, but there is some color around the edge of it. And we're just going to take our ½ teaspoon of cinnamon and dust all over the top of this. Just want to make sure there's some all over it so that every bite has some of that cinnamon flavor. Okay, now we just have to let this sit and cool. It's going to take a little while. You can cover it with a tea towel. If you'd just like to take a clean tea towel and spread over it, you can do that. Or you can just leave it sit out. It will be fine. But as soon as it's cool, we'll come back and finish the recipe. All right, our dessert has cooled. And now we're putting on the blueberry pie filling. I hope you can see that, babe.
Okay.
And now we need to put our Cool Whip on top. And I have found over the years the best way to do that is just with small dollops and then try to spread it. If you put big dollops all over it and try to spread it across the whole thing, it just kind of smears into your blueberries. So I just do small little dollops all over it and then try to spread it. And once you get some spread on it, then it's easier to put the rest of it on. By the way, while we're doing these blueberries, let's do a trivia question. This might be fun. So there is one state in the United States, and I know we have subscribers and viewers from really all over the world. It's amazing how many countries are represented on this channel. But in the United States, there is one state that produces the majority of wild blueberries, and a different state that produces most of the cultivated blueberries, meaning they're grown on blueberry farms. And I'm not going to give that answer. Not today, anyway. If you know, or you think you know, or you want to guess, go down in the comments and let us know what your guess is for which state in the United States grows the most wild blueberries, and which state is the leading producer of cultivated blueberries. We'll see who knows that answer.
We get the answer tomorrow.
I'll give you the answer tomorrow. Sure. Yeah. We'll just see who knows. That's kind of fun. Have a little contest. Now, you just have to be a little careful here and just gently
Because you don't want to pull up those blueberries.
spread it. No, you don't want to pull those blueberries up. So we just have to be very gentle here. And really, more than spreading it, I'm just kind of pushing it down. You don't want to have the blueberries all to one side of your dessert, or have them oozing up through your Cool Whip. So just kind of push them down, push the Cool Whip down on top of them, rather than try to spread it. I can tell you this is such a good dessert. I hope everybody out there loves blueberries as much as we do. Let me get just a little bit more in that corner. Okay. See how we do here. Oh, yum. Doesn't that look delicious?
It does.
Now, right before you serve it, if you want to put some fresh blueberries on top, you can do that. But I would not do it and let them sit on there for hours and hours at a time. I would do that right before I serve it. That way they'll just look better. If you put them on there and they start to ooze a little bit, you could get blueberry juice. Now that you've got that all down on your blueberries, you can just spread it if you want to. It won't hurt them. But if you put those blueberries on too soon, they could just kind of ooze and get blue juice all over the top of your Cool Whip.
That might not be too appetizing.
Yeah, it wouldn't look too good. Okay, there we go. Now, are we ready to have a piece? Doesn't that look good?
It does look good.
I'm gonna turn around this way. I think you can see the blueberries better over here. I don't know why. Yum. Okay. Let's cut a little piece right here in the corner. If I can get it out of there. Hope I don't make a mess out of it. Okay. The first piece is always the hardest one to get out, isn't it? That looks really good in there. See if you can get a picture of that.
Oh, that looks nice. Very pretty.
Let's do a spoon. I think that'll be easier. Well, you can't really see the blueberries because the Cool Whip is right down the side, but you can taste them. You ready, babe?
I am. That's really good. Nice and summery.
Now, let me also say, you do want to refrigerate this until you're ready to serve it. Here you go. See the blueberries a little better. If we had refrigerated this for just a little while, that Cool Whip wouldn't be so loose.
That's really good.
But I couldn't wait. It's delicious. Okay. Don't forget to answer the questions if you know or if you want to guess. Which state is the leading producer of wild blueberries, and which state is the leading producer of cultivated blueberries?
So it's not the same state, I'm
No.
assuming.
And they're very far apart.
Oh, you're bigger hints.
I know, I gave a hint. I shouldn't have done that. Okay. Thank you for watching. Don't forget that right below this video, there is a description box that will expand if you click on the title of the recipe. And in that description box, when it expands, you'll find the written recipe. Melissa always puts it there for you, and our contact information is right under that written recipe. Also, we would appreciate you clicking the thumbs up and that subscribe button if you haven't done that before. That just joins you to our channel, and we would appreciate you doing that. At the very bottom is where you're going to leave your comments telling us your guess or maybe what you know about the leading blueberry producers in the United States. I will tell you this, Canada is also a huge producer of blueberries. So that's just another little trivia question or trivia answer. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow with the next installment of A Taste of Blueberries, and we hope you'll be here to sit at the table with us. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, you're always welcome to come sit at my table. We'll see you tomorrow for the next video. Bye.